We move on to do a full reaction to France. They got the win over Belgium in the Nations League. And then we'll discuss some of the rest of the Nations League fixtures, but we do have to start off with France taking on Belgium. Koulibaly, he gets a brace as he leads France past with the goal in the 35th minute, and then a penalty that he took advantage of in the 35th minute, and then slotting in that second in the 62nd to make it 2-1. Luis Openda, he got the original equalizer for Belgium on the stoppage time of the first half, but eventually Koulibaly scored again. Tchouameni got sent off later on in the 76th minute, and but France were able to hang on there, get that 2-1 win at the King Baudouin Stadium in Brussels. And look, underwhelming game for France, I do have to say it. We say that a lot. Speaking of the French national team this year, you look at the statistics: 20 shots Belgium, 14 shots for France, 7 shots for Belgium, 4 shots for France, 46% possession for Belgium. This is not necessarily the most dominant of games for France. These are both teams playing a little bit short-handed, both teams missing their talisman. Mbappe, we know the whole thing going on. He's not involved in the squad right now. De Bruyne, he asked for a break for this recent fixture as well, so he wasn't involved in this international window. And and it's Randall Koulibaly that got the brace. By the way, Koulibaly, he's almost two different players that you see for France and Belgium. It just seems like he has a comfort zone playing for France. It's something that he's maybe he thrives in the style of play that France adopt. But at PSG, he's just a shell of the player that we see of him at France. And he's had some big games for France. So the last couple of years has some big performances. He scored the winning goal in the game against the Belgium he scored a winning goal against Belgium in the European Championship. He also, I believe, scored a goal in the semifinal against Spain. Not against Spain. Yeah, against Spain. He scored the goal on the back post. So yeah, I just it's interesting. He's actually the only player that scored for France in the knockout stages at this European Championship. So yeah, he's just a different player playing for them, for France. And yeah, France didn't play the best game. Belgium had their opportunities. Belgium had a majority of the chances created. I think France, in certain moments, they looked sloppy, unorganized, didn't really look like, they had a set way of how they wanted to attack Belgium. Everything looked a little flustered, looked very unlike France. No organization, no discipline too. Tchouameni, he got sent off later on in the game. And they looked a little bit open at certain periods, France did. But look, I just think the reality is to come that this French national team is not the French national team of the past. That dominant team that we saw from about the 2018 World Cup to the 2022 World Cup, and maybe you could include the 2016 European Championship, because that's the team that reached the final, and they should have won that European Championship, quite frankly. They lost to a Portugal team that, they shouldn't have lost to. You look from that 2016 to 2022, this French team, what we've seen from them this year, is not at that level. They cannot control the games without the ball that those teams could control the game. They cannot create the opportunities that team had. This team doesn't have the warriors that team had. I'm talking about the Girouds, the Griezmanns, the N'Golo Kantés. Well, N'Golo Kanté, he's not involved in this, but I think he's still involved with this current makeup. But they don't have the Matuitis, the players that do all the dirty work. Rabiot, he was one of those players to an extent, but he doesn't have a club right now, and he needs to get himself sorted before he can be introduced. You're looking at this team. It's a shell of that team. You have a Dembele team that has no end product. You have a Barcola, who's a young player with experience, but a little bit, a little bit toothless sometimes in his cutting edge and his final ball. Kolomwani, who, yes, he shows up for the national team, but at the club level, nowhere to be seen. You got players like Kone and Gunduzi. These are decent players, but this is not a Pogba, Matuidi, Kante midfield. These are not those sort of players. I think the back line, though, is, the back five, I think, is absolutely great. You look from Kunde to Konate to Saliba to this game was Lucas Disney, but other games will be Theo Hernandez. And then Mike Maignan. That is bravo. I'm talking from midfield up. Major concerns for France entering, the World Cup qualifiers, which should start, I believe, in March for them. And they're still in it. They're still alive in this Nations League. They only find themselves a point behind Italy, and they get the chance to take on Italy away. I believe the game would be played at the San Siro. It'll be played at the San Siro. So France does have everything to play for, and Italy still have to play Belgium as well in Belgium, which, that could be a potential, place that Italy might drop points. So who knows what we'll see. Who knows. But Italy right now, they already look in the comfortable zone to get out of that group. They got a 4-1 win over Israel today, playing that game at the Blue Energy Stadium in Udinese, in the province, where Udinese plays. So yeah, they were able to get that win. Retegui, he got on the score sheet again. He's enjoyed a really good season so far in Serie A. Giovanni De Lorenzo scored 2 goals. Fratesi get on the score sheet as well. Honestly, the most important thing there for if you're France is just take advantage of, not France, if you're Italy, just getting that victory. You have to get 3 points in these sort of games when you have Belgium and France and you're left to play as they want to approach the quarterfinal stage. If they wanted to reach the quarterfinal, this was a must win, and they did that in supreme fashion. I think they've played some really, really good football since, in my opinion, a disappointing European Championship. And now with 10 points, I think they find themselves in a good position, only 1 point away above France, but they have a chance to take on France, and they get Belgium team at home. Will Italy get out of the quarterfinals? Will they protect that lead with France and Belgium? It's a little bit difficult, but I believe in Italy. What they've been able to do so far, they have had a really, really, really good Nations League. Just looking at what we saw from the European Championship. Before we get to the Germany-Netherlands game, Wales got a 1-0 win over Montenegro. Ukraine, Czechia 1-1. Sweden got a 3-0 win over Estonia. Turkey beat Iceland 4-2. And then Hungary defeated Bosnia-Herzegovina 2-0. Albania got a 1-0 win over Georgia. Slovakia beat Azerbaijan 3-1. Germany-Netherlands. Germany were able to win 1-0. They played this game at the Allianz Arena. Some of the players that retired over the past few weeks now: Manuel Neuer, Ilkay Gundogan, Thomas Muller, Antonio Kroos, who was actually not there. They were all recognized for their achievements, and it sort of was the passing guard. Now with Germany, this is a new team, now being captained by Joshua Kimmich, a younger team led by the likes of Kimmich, Gnabry, Wirtz, Musiala, who was not involved today, but Musiala. This is a little bit of a new look team, and they went out with some some players, some inexperienced players for the German level. Talking about Stiller playing in midfield, Leweling, Kleinsten, and there was a good opportunity for them to show Julian Nagelsmann what they can do. And this is a Nagelsmann that's turned around Germany. I thought overall in this game, they did some good things here and there. Netherlands lacked that cutting edge, were really toothless, I do have to say. Really toothless going forward. Didn't create anything. Only had 3 shots in the game. Only managed 1 shot on target. It was it was disappointing. Very, very, very disappointing Netherlands were. But Germany overall looked really, really good. They have a young core to build with going forward, I do have to say. And it's very exciting if you are a German fan. This is a team that's not had the most success, pre this European Championship, going back to the 2018 World Cup. But now they're starting to build some forward momentum, and they look like a national team with promise and a national team that has high potential entering the World Cup. Because look, I've said this many, many times, but the German national team at this European Championship was the best team at the European Championship besides Spain. The only reason why they didn't finish ahead of what they didn't finish as far as what they should have is because they went up against the best team in the quarterfinal. Sometimes that happens. You can be the second best team in the tournament and take on, the best team in the tournament in the quarterfinals, because the quarterfinals is primarily all the first place teams in the group taking on against each other, barring a few upsets here and there in the round of 16. And what happened was Germany and Spain just happened to be on that side of the bracket, on that, in that quadrant, and they faced off in the quarterfinal, and it was really the final of the final. If you saw how the game went, you saw the intensity, the quality, how it came down to the last minute extra time winner. It sort of proves my theory, and it makes me even double down on my opinion that Germany is a dangerous outfit going into the 2026 World Cup.